Just how big of a problem is tampering? Perhaps bigger than you think. Nebraska is going after the College Sports Commission's NIL deals. A lot of big things to discuss on today's Locked On Big Ten Squad.
You're talking ball with the Big Ten Squad, sponsored by Game Time. From USC to Ohio State, from Michigan to Oregon, from Nebraska to Washington, it's the local experts of the Locked On Podcast Network bringing you scoops, breakdowns, and the most comprehensive preview of the upcoming Big Ten weekend. No hurt feelings and thin skin allowed. Squad up, you're part of the Big Ten Squad.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to this week's Locked On Big Ten Squad. I'm Spencer McLaughlin, your host, neutral arbiter of all things college football. There's nothing around that could possibly prove I am anything but that. Trent Condon, Locked On Hawkeyes. Roman Tomashoff, Locked On Huskies. Trey Moore of Locked On Terrapins. Might be his first squad appearance ever. He's been having a couple of echo issues, so I am going to be the master of when he is allowed to speak. But unfortunately, I can't control Zach Sako of Locked On Nittany Lions or Jay Stevens of Locked On Buckeyes. Trey, would you want to introduce yourself to the world? This is, I believe, your first squad appearance. Everybody, let's welcome Trey. Let's welcome Trey to the Big Ten Squad. Welcome. We're glad to have you here.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm Trey, 21, go to school at Boston University, play lacrosse there, but also host of Locked On Terps and from University of Maryland. Love Terps football and basketball, so excited to be here.
All of you that love to lobby the accusations at us hosts that you don't know ball because you didn't play, you can't do it with Trey, everybody. You just simply can't. Apparently what you can do is tamper. And the Big Ten sent out a notice. I got to tell you, optically, it's not a very good look for our conference here.
No, not at all.
They would like for there to be no more investigations into tampering allegations. Trent, what does that tell you?
It tells us that, we are at free reign. It is the one interesting component I thought to this, though, is when they brought up the no contact issue that is out there, where guys enter the portal with the no contact order, meaning they already know where they're going. We know it's a farce. We know a lot of these deals have already been in place well before the portal actually opens. So maybe in a way we can come up with an argument that the Big Ten is just trying to end the farce, right? Let's live in reality here. Let's get past this. Everybody, for the most part, knows where they're going even before the portal opens up, and we move past that. But you're right. Overall, not a great look for the Big Ten.
No, not a spectacular one. Look, right on time, late. Craig Sheeman of Locked On Big Ten is here for our recording. No matter how late we start, Craig shows up after we begin. It's tradition at this point. Roman, your thoughts on the tampering matter?
I'm shocked that that's how you led into asking me specifically about all this for, no reason in particular, especially with how the Big Ten treated that a couple of months ago when DeMond Williams was reportedly being tampered with and was mulling entering the transfer portal since that never officially happened. The Big Ten firmly had Washington's back and they're like, hey, we're going to, if you need to go to court to fight this for everything that happens, we're right here with you. Seeing this, I really like Trent's point. I think that is a very big part of this. This is probably we know it's happening. So we need stricter guardrails in place for all of this. And I know it's something we've talked about in several other angles of NIL and college athletics in general. And it's all just exhausting at this point in time. And I think this is just one of those things that we're going to look back on at the end of the day and say, we still this is probably not the right angle to be looking at all of this, but rules are still needed.
Jay, what do you think?
Tony Petitti's put himself in a real bad spot because the last time he made a big splash, it was the 2014 playoff, and he got a lot of pushback for it, and you thought that he was going to stop trying to do things to make himself look bad, but here he is once again doing something to make himself look bad. It's just not a good look for the Big Ten, and I wouldn't be shocked if in a couple of months he starts trying to put a playoff format on a napkin, send it over to somebody that covers the sport nationally, says, hey, look, how about we just leak this out here and try to see what the public thinks about this? He's just not really doing the best job to get the public to be on his side. And everyone got on Kevin Warren for what he did and how he led the Big Ten back in 2020. I haven't seen there's a lot of pushback for Tony Petitti as well, and I understand why, because this man just continues to do things that make him look bad.
Trey, you're currently a student athlete in this whole landscape. You being tampered with right now? If so, blink twice.
I'm not getting tampered with right now, but I think from my perspective, thinking about some of the schools like University of Maryland, I think a lot of it happens at schools like that, kind of the smaller schools that don't have as much money to go around. And I think there's got to be some rules and regulations behind it if the University of Maryland and schools like that want to be able to ever keep up with some of the other opponents in the Big Ten.
Yeah, I mean, just imagine how many schools have probably already reached out to Malik Washington, getting ready for the impending season and potential firing of Mike Locksley. They are going to come calling. That is, I think, a given. Seiko, how do we fix this?
How do we fix it? I mean, by the Big Ten and the SEC breaking away from the NCAA. I mean, look, no.
Sorry, keep going.
I
I don't like that idea.
Why?
Because college football having a true national component is fantastic, and if it was only Big Ten against SEC, that'd get boring.
Would it get boring?
Compared to what it is now, yes, it would be significantly less exciting.
I very much enjoy watching Penn State beat up on a group of 6 schools. Yes.
Well, yeah, you get to do it 3 times a year.
It takes an extra level of the amateurism of it all out of this thing now, right? Like to Spencer's point of if it's the Big Ten against the SEC and it's money versus money and power versus power every week, it just becomes an even more just junior version of the NFL, which in some senses is kind of exhausting. Yeah.
That's what we're at. And I'm not saying that the Big Ten and the SEC aren't going to expand. That it's just the current version of the Big Ten and the current version of the SEC, but we are going to get the 2 super mega conferences. It's probably going to be 64 teams, 64 schools, and if you're not if you're not in the league, well, good luck, because it's going to happen at some point.
Yeah, it'd be terrible when Iowa gets left behind out of that. It's just going to be a nightmare. It'd be heartbreaking. Craig,
are all of our schools safe in that Super League?
Oh, sorry, Trey.
If it's 64,
Maryland might be left behind.
Yeah, Maryland might be left behind.
I don't know. I actually don't know that Maryland would get left behind. They've got the most unique mascot in college football, or one of them.
No, I think we'd be left behind.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Never mind.
That's a realist right there.
My pulse on all things Maryland is clearly not as attached as my heart pulsing through the rest of my body. Anyway, so Craig, when you saw Tony Petitti put out that message to the world, what'd you think?
Well, first of all, I'm just glad he spoke, because to Jay's point, he doesn't look good a lot of times because he lets Greg Sankey do all the talking, and Petitti rarely makes any statements. And, overall, there's like 4 ways that you could fix college football, right? And tampering or whatever issue of the day is. You can have the NCAA fix it, which they failed to do. They lost their chance. So then you can have Congress fix it, but they're not smart enough to do it. And then you can have an executive order from the president, which is coming, but then fight that in the legal courts and let the courts decide, the Supreme Court decide the rules of college football. Or you can leave the NCAA altogether and join the super conference. And look, to Zach's point, that super conference will grow. It's not going to just be the same old teams. 40 to 50 teams. It will be an NFL-style super conference, AFC versus NFC, Big Ten, SEC. I think that's the direction we ultimately go. By the way, if you check out my Thursday podcast, the Lockdown Big Ten, it is about that very subject. One of my favorite subjects to talk about.
Everybody watches Craig's show already. Who doesn't?
I had a rough week.
Instead of
no, you didn't break
200,000
views in a day. Oh man,
that was last week. I'm still living off of it. It's up to 220 now.
Yeah, you're like Goins coming in here and saying, "Man, I haven't watched my team win a football game in months," which is your team, and you could do that too. I hate everything that just happened here. All right, Nebraska is trying to say the College Sports Commission is no good. Are they right? It's coming up next.
I'm Kalia Butler, host of Locked On Women's Basketball, and this is Mazda's Women's Basketball Snapshot. celebrating the work no highlight reel can ever capture. South Carolina rolled past Ole Miss 85-48 to clinch a share of the SEC regular season title and lock down the number 1 seed in the conference tournament. The Gamecocks extended their win streak over Ole Miss to 21 straight. UCLA dominated Wisconsin 80-60 to secure its first outright Big Ten regular season championship in program history. The Bruins improved to 27-1 overall and remain unbeaten in conference play. And number 12 TCU stormed back from a 13-point fourth quarter deficit to beat Iowa State 80-73. The Horned Frogs now sit alone atop the Big 12 standings and are 1 win away from clinching another regular season conference crown. These moments are earned off the clock, those long before the lights ever come on. The sweat, the fakes, the doubt, the scrapes, and coming back for more every time. Mazda puts that same drive into every detail. Wins define the moment, putting in the work, that defines you. There's more to a Mazda because there's more to you.
First, this episode brought to you by our friends at Robinhood. What if sports were traded like markets? Now you can put your sports IQ to work in real time with Robinhood prediction markets. It's not you against the house. It's you participating in a live market. You can buy or sell your positions live all game long. Use your sports knowledge in the moments that matter. Robinhood prediction markets changes the game. It's people moving the action. So when momentum shifts, you can move with it. I always knew the game, but never had a dynamic way to apply that knowledge. Now I can actually take part live in a market powered by people. You're no longer just a spectator. Play by play, you decide. Trade every play with Robinhood, now available across the U.S. Download the Robinhood app now to begin. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm. Check out Robinhood today. All right, continuing on, we have lost 2. Did we lose 2 from the first segment or 1? 1.
Wow, he really was. He really was tampered with.
I was just going to let you do that.
Yeah. Trey got a better offer. He hit the portal. Seiko probably went to talk about wrestling. But yeah, anyway, Nebraska is trying to say this college sports commission, which was a part of the House settlement that came about last year, is not valid because they have ruled some NIL deals to not be legitimate. And Trent, I don't think that it's a bad thing that this commission got together, evaluated some deals. Like, I'm not talking about a specific case or instance. I'm just talking about the premise of it. I don't think it's inherently a bad thing, right?
It's not. No, this makes sense. We're trying to put up guardrails for this entity that we call college athletics. The problem is that we have litigation every single place you turn. And what we've learned in college athletics, it's very simple. You don't like what's happening, you sue. It's as simple as that. That's what's happening on the Nebraska side.
Are you telling me that I could sue and get Roman fired from the network? Is that what you're telling me?
That's where we're
stepped
trending
on my line again, man. Oh my!
You two are.
You got to be
close.
quicker than that. In this discussion, I am Ultron and you are Tony Stark, so I win this particular moment. Ignore what happens at the end of that movie.
I was going to say it. I win the war.
What is going? What are you guys talking about? What is this?
Oh gosh! Look at you. Wait. Jay, do you know what we're talking about?
I don't. No, I don't.
No,
Craig, do you know what we're talking about?
I just wonder if Trent paid his light bill again. It's always so dark.
What?
I got the light right here. I always pay my light bill.
Wow, Roman, we're 0 for 3 on getting that reference. I know that is crazy. Okay, we interrupted Trent. Trent, continue.
I think I just said it. They're going to sue. Everybody's going to sue. And until we get real litigation, until all these athletes become employees, this is going to be our reality. And it doesn't matter if it's within the next year, the next 5 years, the next 10 years. That is the only end game. I think that's something you nerds like. End game, right?
Yeah,
there you go.
So you got that one, but you didn't.
No, I just know the term. I've never seen the movie or anything like that. I've heard the term before.
That's an incredible pivot. We're dropping like one of the most iconic scenes from a feature Marvel film, and then you come back with that one after going, I have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
I still don't. All right, take it away, Roman.
Yeah.
I'm still a little bit in shock here, but no, Spencer, I'm with you 100% here. Where the amount of deals that have been not approved by the CSC since its inception is not a large number either. So I kind of look at the situation and I say, I don't know, man. There might be a reason that your deals were not approved. I'm curious to, get into some of the specifics of that as details are revealed. But this is just one of those things where I think all in all, the CSC is a very good thing for the world of college athletics, where we've talked about this a lot on these squad shows, where there are teams that are just going out and paying this, that, and whatever to get some of the top defensive linemen in the country when you look at what Texas Tech is doing on a yearly basis. And there's no way that all of that is, going to be approved in some way, shape, or form if you really dive into it. And the fact that we have some kind of just like basic governing body for that is a very good thing, in my opinion. That's my only thought.
All that money at Texas Tech to score no points on Oregon. This is something that popped into my head. Anyway, Craig,
I wonder what happened the week after that.
Is the CSC Washington still wasn't playing? Is the CSC just out to get Nebraska here? Is that what's happening?
I don't know. And my understanding was all 18 players, it was all one deal, right? For like $1 million divided amongst all of them. It was, I don't know if it were multiple individual deals or not, but nevertheless, I'm sitting here thinking, how many things can we actually sue for now? The CSC, name, image, and likeness. We can sue about the transfer portal and whether we can go wherever we want. We can sue about eligibility if we want to play a 9th year of college football. Revenue share laws. Everything's a lawsuit now. I remember back in the good old days, you went to school, you got your scholarship, and you played football, and then we would vote on who the champion was because they didn't.
And you got money under the table like a real sport.
Yeah.
The good old day. Well,
we're ruining Nick Saban's college football.
Gosh dang it! Now you beat me to it by half a second. I don't like
that's
that
right.
feeling.
That's right.
I don't like that. I don't like that feeling. Gosh, he's battling back. Anyway, Jay, do you like the idea of the CSC turning down NIL deals? Because though it comes from different pockets, the way it gets received on our end as people in the content and reporting space is, well, we need rules and regulations on this. Well, here's some regulation. Oh my gosh, I can't believe they regulated it. That's how it kind of feels to me right now.
I mean, it's exactly what it is. I mean, you laid it out very well. That's exactly what happened. Somebody doesn't like the outcome of the rule that's in place. That's life, not just sports. That's life. We may not like the speed limit, but we have to abide by it. And if we don't, a cop may pull us over. We may get a ticket. That's just life. And so I get when you're 18 to 22 years old and you have a lot of power in college football right now. For decades, the athletes didn't have as much power as they currently have. And now these guys have power. And when rules are there that they can't overcome, they have to follow them, or they get in trouble, or they don't get money. Sorry, buddy. Well, I'm not really sorry. That's life. That's how life works. And so you may not like it, but oh well, live with it.
Jay, I thought you hosted Lock On Buckeyes, not Locked On Georgia.
Oh, that's another
Talking
good
about
one.
Speed limit.
That's a good point.
You're on fire.
That's a good point. I will say that didn't cross my mind when I said that, but I see the dots being connected.
Roman brought his A game tonight. Yeah.
What can I say?
Roman brought his A game. It's like
MVP of tonight.
It's like the antithesis of what Oregon basketball brought in round 1 of the Big Ten basketball tournament, because
they were so bad. They were so bad.
That's correct. That's correct. When we come back, I will have thought of something by then. At least I better. First, this episode brought to you by our friends at Coast. Coast Pay is giving Locked On College listeners up to $2,000 credit for your business when you get started today. If you manage a crew, construction, HVAC, landscaping, any operation with trucks on the road, you already know how messy gas and material spending can get. Cards get shared, receipts disappear, and month end turns into a headache. Coast Pay fixes all of that. Coast Pay is the modern fuel card and expense management tool built specifically for fleets. Fuel, maintenance, materials, all in one card with real control and instant visibility. Every transaction shows up the moment that it happens. No surprises. It's built for operators who don't have time to chase paperwork, which is probably most of you out there. right now, CoastPay is offering our listeners up to $2,000 credit when you get started at coastpay.com/lockedoncollege. Go to coastpay.com/lockedoncollege to see how you can earn up to $2,000 credit. Terms apply. The Coast Visa commercial credit card is issued by Celtic Bank. All card accounts are subject to credit approval. Check out CoastPay today. Good thing I remembered to scroll down to the next page to see if there's anything on it there. And good thing you're here for the 5-Hour Energy Flavor Draft, because it is your opportunity to find your new favorite flavor. Or maybe you just want to run it back with the same one. Maybe it's old, reliable for you. But I know who my number one pick in the 5-Hour Energy Flavor Draft is. Play the music, please. No one can actually play it out there. Bum, 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 bada, bum, bum, bum. First pick off the board, strawberry watermelon. High floor, high ceiling. Ultimate 5-tool guy for a number one overall pick. Whatever flavor you're looking for, when you need a boost that gives you zero sugar, 5-Hour Energy Shots give you just that. Find your new favorite flavor of 5-Hour Energy Shots, available online at 5hourenergy.com or Amazon. Check them out at 5hourenergy.com. All right, Trent, start us off to wrap today's show. What is your number one question going into spring football for the Iowa Hawkeyes?
Oh, that's a good one. Have they improved at the wide receiver position? It's not going to be fixed. It's not going to be great, but they went into the portal. They got a couple of guys that had some decent offers coming out of the FCS ranks. So can there be improvement there? It's going to be a quarterback battle. That's going to be probably the headliner. But most importantly, do they have a couple of guys that can get open in the Tim Lester scheme? We've seen improvement, certainly the offense the last 2 years, but wide receiver, can they take a step forward there for me?
Anyone else seen that Peyton Manning SNL sketch where Peyton Manning is a community ambassador and he's playing football with the kids? Yeah. When Trent said get open, I thought of him looking open, get open, and then he just pegs a kid and drops him to the floor. I feel like an Iowa quarterback could feel that frustration. Open. God, just give him a Paul Crew.
Wouldn't the Iowa quarterback have to get the ball there first?
Yeah, that's true. That would
have no pushback.
Good. That means you're realistic. We can appreciate that. Roman, is there a question that supersedes whether or not the locker room likes DeMond Williams?
Yes, actually there is, and it's what this 2026 freshman class looks like, in my opinion, because there is a lot that Washington really likes about their roster going into this year, whether it be the offensive line, what the defense as a whole can bring. But the biggest question, in my opinion, is how some of these true freshmen are going to look the part and then hang physically as we get into the spring football period, because Washington might have a true freshman starter at left tackle and Cody Green. They're going to ask at least 2, if not 3 blue chip recruits to play big time roles on the defensive line in T.I. Mukais, Derek Coleman-Brusa, and J.D. Hill, who's not going to be here for spring practice. But then there are so many other guys. Brian Bonner at running back, a trio of wide receivers in Jordan Clay, Trez Davis, Mason James. There's so many guys that this coaching staff wants to take big roles as true freshmen. We saw it last year in 2025. And now Jed Fish is trying to build on that with his highest ranked recruiting class in program history. So I look at all of these guys, and I think that there is a lot to like about what Washington is bringing to the table. But yeah, all of that, especially with some recent things that I've heard around the program and how quickly DeMond might have, just reassimilated into everything that's going on at Washington, that certainly supersedes what that's going to look like, in my opinion.
Continuing in the unchanged order of hosts here on YouTube, Jay, what's your top question for the Buckeyes?
What will the offense look like? Because bringing in Arthur Smith, I think Roman made a comment about it last week or the week before about Arthur Smith and his offense and how it might not be the best fit for what Ohio State does. And I'm on the same page with everyone there. I'm not sold that this was the right hire. But if Arthur Smith shifts his mindset and transforms into college and leans into more what Ryan Day did when Ryan Day was a play caller, I think that'd be the best fit. But who knows? We literally have no idea what Arthur Smith will do with the offense, and I'm really kind of nervous based off what happened last year and how the offense looked when it was slower and had a lot of heavier sets. If that continues, Ryan Day will have to answer a lot of questions about why this approach on offense is happening again when you have a former NFL head coach who's very experienced doing the same thing you did last year with an inexperienced play caller.
Craig, wrap it up with your number one spring question across the Big Ten. It could be team specific, but what comes to mind?
Specifically, are we just going to gloss over the fact that the Oregon Duck basketball team almost became the first team ever to be shut out in the first half of a Big Ten tournament?
Hey, they were like 12 points clear of getting shut out in the half.
Craig, good news is your Hoosiers are looking great, though.
Yeah, no comment on that.
Wait, hold on. Are you upset that your team is not quite into the NCAA tournament field? Because let me tell you, I can think of a worse scenario for a basketball program to be in today.
Well,
here. Let me just.
You're talking about USC losing to Washington 3 times in a season when you say that, right? I'm just checking.
Gosh, that's good.
Well,
I'll
tell you guys this. Because I live and die with Indiana basketball, and there's nothing worse than them not getting in the tournament, being on the outside of the bubble. But I'm going to tell you, winning a natty in football smooths that over. I'm in a good place right now.
Yeah, I bet.
Okay. Yeah. I'm okay.
Yeah, I bet. You know how often I think about the Seahawks beating Roman's Patriots in the Super Bowl? The answer is every single day since
Is
it
that
happened.
the only thing that just like gives you a sense of calm in this world where Oregon has never won a national championship?
Yes.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
It's yeah. I mean, playing golf is good, but I chucked a club on the 17th hole today, so I don't know if that
I respect
always,
that.
By the way,
always,
Spencer,
always
where
qualifies.
are you at? You look like you're in a swanky hotel with some yellow headboards behind the bed. Where are you at these days?
I'm in Las Vegas in the New York hotel. I'm down here for a bunch of college basketball stuff, including watching my Santa Clara Broncos make it to the WCC title game for the first time in 19 years, and they will be in the NCAA tournament for the first time in 30 years since before I was born. So
Congrats.
I'm going to hold on to that while ignoring the fact that it's pretty, shall we say, sad that Oregon has fallen behind my alma mater that hasn't made the tournament in 3 decades. You know who the point guard was on that team? Anybody know this?
Steve Nash?
Steve Nash was a college point guard the last time Santa Clara made the NCAA tournament. So that's where things are at. Trent Condon, Locked On Hawkeyes. Roman Tomashoff, Locked On Huskies. Jay Stevens, Locked On Buckeyes. Craig Sheeman, Locked On Big Ten. We had Trey Moore from Locked On Terrapins and Zach Seiko of Locked On Nittany Lions as well. We appreciate everyone listening. I'll see you next time. And until then, hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.